and couldn't wake you up in the morning. And cause wondering why you're snoring. And cause show's fun, not boring. It's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
Hi. I thought we destroyed that file. I thought I hid it. I thought I deleted it. Happy Halloween! It is Monday, the 31st day of October. According to my calendar, not only is it the last day of October, it's payday. Hey, I don't know what I'm going to do with the $47.19 I'm richer with. It's Halloween. It's a busy day today. Lots going on. It's quite mild. It's 52 degrees. That's almost where we should be for our afternoon high. In fact, that is our afternoon high. Our normal high on October 31st is 52 degrees. We're there right now with a little bit of light rain being reported up at Pangbourne, some light scattered showers. So we're already where we're supposed to be for the afternoon high, but we're in for a lot of active weather. Very active, very unsettled. We're going to get cold. There's a big dome of cold air. It's going to ease its way down the Pacific Ocean. It's going to slide right on into us. We're going to see temperatures below freezing early Thursday morning for everybody. And some snow in the mountains. We get it all this week. Forecast details are coming up, including your trick-or-treating forecast for you ghosts and goblins this afternoon and in the early evening hours. Quick reminder, daylight saving comes to an end this week, comes to an end on Sunday, so we get the hour back that we had to give up back in April. So we'll have 25 hours on Sunday. But here's the deal. I mean, if we're going to get the extra hour, why do we do it in the middle of the night when everybody's sleeping? First of all, the whole idea is stupid. We need to get rid of it. You know how I feel about that. But if we're going to get that bonus hour on Sunday, this upcoming Sunday, why don't we do it at 2 o'clock in the morning? We should do it at like noon. Then we make it like a holiday. Hey, it's bonus hour. Yeah. It's just me. I don't know. In any event, I wanted to mention that because people have been asking. In the back half of the program, because we're a little more than a week away from the general election, going to replay one of the interviews I did with Dr. Becky Berg, the superintendent of the Eastmont School District. They're asking you voters in the Eastmont School District to approve a $185 million bond to make significant upgrades to a lot of schools. It's a bond. It needs a 60% supermajority. Dr. Berg is going to tell you what that bond will pay for in the first of a two-part interview in the back half of the program. Now we're ready to do our tour on this mild Monday morning. Let's see what we have around the valley. The clouds cover is in. That's why it's so warm. Very mild. It's 55 in Moses Lake. Again, 52 with some light rain here in Wenatchee. The rain will be tapering off, by the way, before we get to the noon hour. Sunrise is pretty late, 7:43. That's why it's still dark. Sunset tonight's 5:45. That's 10 hours and 2 minutes of daylight. Will go under the 10-hour mark on Wednesday, November 2nd. Good morning to the valley. Camera number 2. As the good captain says, we're going to look at that. Is that the monitor camera that we used on Friday? Wow, that's a beautiful view. That's Kashmir looking from, I believe, the monitor camera, looking back over Kashmir. That's a nice view. Apple Annie's in, Captain. High above the Apple Annie's Antique Mall, you can see the highway. Obviously, you can see Kashmir, almost all of it. Beautiful view there, just not quite light enough. Camera number 3. And that is a snowflake, and another snowflake, and another snowflake, and another, well, it could be raindrops, too. Could be raindrops. That's up at Nanapoc Ridge, the Lake Wenatchee area. I don't know if that's rain or snow. It could be light snow. That camera's up there a little ways. It's about 3,800 feet above sea level. Right now, they say the snow level's at 4,000 feet, but I understand it's not really snowing on the mountain passes. I'll check with that in just a couple of minutes. But in the other event, that's up in Lake Wenatchee. And camera 4, where does the good captain want to go? He wants to visit Wenatchee from the top of number 1 canyon. Well, not the top of it, although that'd be cool if we had a camera there. That's getting in as much light as we possibly can, even though the sun's not going to be up for another 38 minutes officially. As we look back over the East Wenatchee bench, you can see the clouds, and they're telling me right now at Pangbourne it is raining lightly. By the way, there is no advisories or restrictions on any of the major mountain passes. It is currently raining. As a matter of fact, at the summit of Stevens Pass, it's pretty mild up there as well. Good morning to the Wenatchee Valley. All right, your Halloween forecast for you trick-or-treaters, your spooky forecast. Not too bad for the Wenatchee Valley. We're going to be dry. Other locations, as you can see, you're going to be dealing with some rain. The rain that's affecting us this morning will affect the far eastern part of the state and the Idaho Panhandle by this afternoon. So we should be high and dry late this afternoon into the early evening hours for you ghosts and goblins. And we're already almost to the afternoon high. So it's going to be fairly mild. Not bad at all for you Halloween trick-or-treaters. Again, we'll be done with the rain by noon, they tell us. And then here comes some cold air. It's going to seep down, going to take some time. Overnight low tonight's going to be around 40, and then it's going to be around 30, and then it's going to be in the 20s Wednesday night into Thursday morning. So not too bad. We'll probably be above freezing or right at it early Wednesday morning, early Thursday morning. Everybody is going to be below freezing. So look for a hard freeze early Thursday morning. It is not going to be particularly warm, and we're going to go from very mild to below normal temperatures for the most part, especially for our overnight lows. From the National Weather Service, again, active and unsettled. Rain this morning, dry this afternoon. Clouds aren't going to go anywhere, though. They'll be sticking around all day. High of about 56. Again, our normal high is 52. We're already at that right now. Tonight, snow level comes all the way down to 2,700 feet, but there's no precipitation in the forecast. We should be dry. Overnight low of 39. Tuesday, here comes the cold air. We're going to go from above normal to below normal tomorrow. It's going to be cloudy. It's going to feel like autumn, only about 50 degrees, and then we start talking about temperatures below freezing. Early Wednesday morning, we're going to get down to 31 degrees. Early Thursday morning, we'll be below freezing at 29 degrees. Then we get a little bit above freezing as we get into the weekend. By the way, Friday looks pretty wet, especially Friday afternoon and Friday night. We're doing a football game at East Wenatchee on Friday night, and we will be getting rained on. We need the rain, and we have a lingering chance of rain. We're going to have the rain this morning. Then we'll be dry for the most part, maybe a scattered shower Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then the next band of rain comes in Thursday night. Should rain off and on all day Friday. Significant rain Friday night. More rain on Saturday before we dry out again on Sunday. Remember, tomorrow is November, and it's going to feel like it. That's the weather. 7 minutes after the hour, a 1 minute break, and then your headlines. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
I'm Dr. Kim Schreier, and I approve this message.
This is Marjorie Taylor Greene. She says the massacre at Sandy Hook was staged. She claims there's no evidence terrorists hit the Pentagon on 9/11. She's even called for members of Congress to be executed. And this is Matt Larkin. He says he, quote, aligns with Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's why Matt Larkin is dangerous, because the last thing we need is another Marjorie Taylor Greene in Congress.
ColorFX has moved their shop to a larger location to expand their services, including adding in a state-of-the-art large format printer. They got it. You need banners? They got them. You need vinyl decals for your cars, trucks, vans, or trailers in just about any size? Yeah, they got it. ColorFX has also been providing fun swag and clothing for local churches and high schools around our valley for decades. Support your local print shop. Call ColorFX in Cashmere today.
We just dropped a few degrees, 49 now, but we still got some light rain, off and on intermittent showers. We'll have some light rain this morning. We'll dry out this afternoon. It'll be cloudy, pretty mild, too. We start cooling down on Tuesday, and by early Wednesday morning, and especially early Thursday morning, we'll be waking up to below freezing temperatures. It's 10 minutes after the hour. A two-car accident early Sunday morning on Snoqualmie Pass resulted in the death of one driver and homicide charges for a Wenatchee man. According to the Washington State Patrol, at about 2:40 yesterday morning, a 2021 Subaru Outback being driven by 37-year-old Casey M. Jordan of Wenatchee was traveling eastbound 2 miles east of the summit when he lost control and rolled over. His Subaru was then struck by an eastbound Chevrolet box truck being driven by 55-year-old Manuel H. DeCruz of Stanwood. DeCruz, who was not wearing a seatbelt, was declared dead at the scene. Jordan was not injured but was booked into the Kittitas County Jail on charges of vehicular homicide and DUI. Eastbound I-90 was closed for over 6 hours after that collision. A Manson woman was hospitalized Saturday afternoon after two pickups collided near Chelan. The Washington State Patrol reports that just before 1 p.m., a 2014 GMC Sierra was northbound on State Route 97 when it was struck by a 2005 Dodge Ram at the intersection of State Route 97 and State Route 97A. The driver of the GMC, 74-year-old Donna J. Burgess of Manson, was taken to Central Washington Hospital. With undisclosed injuries, the driver of the Ram, 36-year-old Scott E. Tomlinson of Buckley, was not injured, but Tomlinson was cited for failing to yield to the right-of-way. Wenatchee Valley College announced Thursday its 4 finalists for the next presidency of Wenatchee Valley College, and the finalists are Dr. David Johns, who was the president of Ferrum College, that's in Virginia, Dr. Famous Harrison, who is the dean at California State University at Stockton, Dr. Karen Hilgerson, who is the president of Truckee Meadows Community College in California, and Dr. David Pelkey, who is the vice president of student services at South Puget Sound Community College. The 4 final candidates for president were selected from a group of 6 semifinalists that interviewed on October 20th and 21st. In total, the college received 46 applications from across the country. In-person finalist visits are set for this week, and the Board of Trustees is expected to announce the new president next week. Wenatchee's popular Saddle Rock hiking trail was officially reopened Thursday with a ribbon-cutting ceremony, with Wenatchee Mayor Frank Kuntz presiding. The trail has been closed since July 18th for the second and final phase of a cleanup of old mining waste. The city has said there are still some details to finish on the cleanup project, but the trail, with new improvements, will remain open. On October 22nd, Make a Difference Day volunteers were out planting bushes and trees and grasses in preparation for the reopening last Thursday. Speaking of things that you can go back to again, the Old Station Highway 285 on-ramp reopened on Friday afternoon. It was the off-ramp was closed since October 17th. Of course, they're making roadway changes in that area to accommodate the new headquarters of the Chelan County PUD. Other changes in the works include some traffic signal updates. They're going to do some intersection revisions. They're also going to extend Technology Center Way to Easy Street, the new PUD building, expected to open next year. Chelan County Public Works says the Knowles Road Improvement Project is moving along. The contractor will be paving the impacted driveways. That goes through yesterday and into the early part of this week. Public Works is hoping to finish the project over the next couple of weeks. Most of the work during the time will be off-road, concentrating on seeding, fencing, pond grading, and putting the mailboxes back in. A reminder, though, that you will be coming across Flagler-controlled traffic on Knowles Road while they do that, so follow directions and keep an eye out for your neighbor. And finally, Day of the Dead. The post-Halloween tribute to loved ones who have passed will be celebrated all over the valley tomorrow, including at the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. I had a chance to sit down with Rosa Pulido, of the Chamber to talk about the roots of the Day of the Dead and what it's all about.
The museum and the Hispanic Business Council are partners in this, and it's something that we hope to continue every year.
For the uninitiated, what exactly is the Day of the Dead?
Yeah, so Day of the Dead originated in Mexico, of course, and it kind of just spread out to the different Spanish cultures. And it's been very popular. It's, celebrated November 1st through the 3rd. Everyone builds a beautiful altar to commemorate a lost loved one. And then you kind of fill it with what we call ofrendas, which are offerings. You put your offerings on the altar, kind of how you see behind here. You fill it with candles, incense, flowers, and then a lot of your loved one's favorite things. So whether that's, favorite foods, favorite drinks, that's what you would put on your offering. And the idea is that your loved one will come back and visit you for, that duration. And so it's just a good time to celebrate life and celebrate the life of, those loved ones that have passed on. So one of the activities that we'll have during Day of the Dead is building your own picture frame. That's something that you add to your, to one of your offerings for the altar would be a picture frame of your loved one to just remember them. And so it helps your little ones and their little ones in the future see who that person was and continue to commemorate them and remember them.
You use the word commemoration a lot because that's really what it is.
Yes,
It's not a depressing
It's not depressing.
thing.
No, it's supposed to be just a celebration of life, not a celebration of death. So I think that's really important to remember, which is why we have so many activities, why we built a big, beautiful, colorful altar, music, food. You're celebrating that person's life and what they left behind. So I think that's very important to remember. We're keeping the celebrations to one day because we're coming back to in person, and we're just hoping that it'll be a huge turnout and we'll have a lot of support from the community. But we extended the hours, so we're going to host it from 5:30 to 9. We'll have live music, food. We've asked our local women vendors to come and join us in the celebration, so they'll have their pop-up booths set up, and we'll just have a lot of crafts and activities for the family, like face painting, some face masks that we'll kind of do. We'll have mariachi dancers, all the fun things that you would normally have at a festival like Day of the Dead.
And you are in the loop on what's going on this Halloween. Don't forget trick-or-treating downtown. They'll be shutting off the streets. It might be the way to do it. Don't have to worry about a real safety concern. Just throwing that out there. That's what's making news at 16 minutes after the hour. The news will be, the day is going to be busy in the newsroom. It's just one of those feelings I get. With a preview of some of the stories we're working on, here's the anchor, Grant Olson.
Good Monday morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, we will bring you the latest unemployment figures from the State Employment Security Department. Our Halloween weather is expected to be cloudy and breezy with the chance for showers. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. And in sports, Eric Granstrom has the results of the weekend's high school sports action, as well as the Kraken, Wild, and the big game yesterday between the Seahawks and Giants. That and all the day's news stories coming your way tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
Thanks, Grant. If you have a news tip or you just want to drop us a note and let us know how we're doing, we always accept unqualified praise. Get a hold of us. NCWLife.com is our website. There's a contact us icon there. You can go to our Facebook page and use the Messenger app, or you can email us if you have an email address, and I'm pretty sure you do. It's news@ncwlife.com. What a wild and busy weekend in sports. We're going to put it all together in one tidy package for you. In 1 minute, you're watching Wake Up in Anchi Valley on the NCW Life channel. You really are.
When the people you serve are your friends and family, you see the world a bit differently. You understand that your survival depends on the health and strength of your relationships. Your word is your reputation, and that doing the right thing is the only way of life that matters. At Confluence Health, we remain humble. Trust is a gift that is earned, a privilege, an honor. And we remain grateful for the trust you place in our hands.
Hey folks, Lehman here with Crown Furniture and Mattress. Folks, there's no question if you're looking for top quality furniture and mattresses, Crown Furniture and Mattress is the place for you. Whether it's Flex Steel's patented blue steel spring, Englander's 120 years of innovation, or Stan's incredible comfort. Folks, we have it all. So stop by and see us today at 736 South Wenatchee Avenue.
"18 minutes after the hour, Halloween came a couple of days early for the Seahawks. Yeah, they tricked the Giants and they treated the fans to a 23-13 victory. Eric writes these things, by the way. Seattle's defense held the Giants' offense to just one touchdown. Shaquan Barkley rushed for only 53 yards. Daniel Jones threw for only 176 yards. He was sacked 5 times. After the game, Coach Pete Carroll said, "Yeah, pretty fun."
Boy, that was a really satisfying win. And this is one of those games when you get so much respect for the other team and what they've been playing like and accomplishing the players and the way that Brian has done such a great job with these guys and going that, we held this matchup in high regard. And to play that well across the board, all 3 phases were on it. Our effort was terrific. Our hitting was great. The defense was great today. They played great football. This is the team that was rushing for 170 something, and with an incredible back, and he doesn't get going today, and they don't get going today, and it was an all-day job. It wasn't like in flashes. It was all day long. We played consistently hard and tough and solid and disciplined and strict, just like we needed to. And I thought Clint and his guys did a great job today. I mean, the game plan was excellent.
Geno Smith threw a couple of touchdown passes, one to DK Metcalf, and then the go-ahead strike in the fourth quarter to Tyler Lockett Earlier in the second half, Tyler Lockett dropped a 35-yard easy touchdown pass. You said he felt pretty bad about that.
When I dropped the pass, it was kind of one of those things where, I couldn't believe I had just did that. So it was kind of frustrating, but I just had to breathe a little bit. I had a lot of teammates behind me talking to me. Like you said, Pete was able to come talk to me. And, I just had to breathe, man. That was the biggest thing. And luckily, I had an opportunity just to be able to go out there and to be able to overcome it just with another play. Sometimes that might not even happen, and you got to be able to carry that to the next week and try to overcome it. But, just thank God I got the opportunity to overcome it with the next play. Gino threw a great pass, and I was able to catch it and secure it and score.
Tyler he's the best receiver I've ever been around. I've never seen anybody do all of the things so consistently for such a long time. Of course he's going to make a double move and score a touchdown. Of course he's going to come back. It was just a matter. I told him I think you're going to get 2 before it happened. I just had a feeling he was going to do something, and sure enough, he runs just a great double move and gets in the end zone just to let you know who he is again.
Seahawks improved to 5-3 with a victory. They will be at Arizona this Sunday afternoon on Fox. Speaking of Arizona, the Cardinals will come into the game 3-5. They lost to Minnesota 34-26. Kyler Murray threw for over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, but he's also intercepted twice, and that's not very good. And San Francisco's trade for Christian McCaffrey is paying off. The running back had a rushing touchdown, a receiving touchdown, and a passing touchdown. The 40-Winers, they routed the Rams 31-14. Going back to Saturday, college football, Eastern Washington's fourth quarter comeback fell short. They lost to Portland State 38-35. The Eagles are now 1-4 in Big Sky play. And J.J. Lemming connected with Marcus Cook on a 12-yard touchdown pass with 29 seconds remaining. Central over Texas A&M Kingsville 23-19. Staying on the gridiron, but going back to last Friday night in Moses Lake, Eastmont wins a share of the Big 9 league title. They came back 37-35. Lions Field, Moses Lake, Eric Grandstrom filed this report.
Eastmont on the road at Moses Lake Friday for a battle of first place of the Big 9. The Mavericks would score first on their first drive, a 9-yard touchdown pass from Brock Clark to Kaylor Capel Baker. 7-0 to score. Eastmont hands the ball off to Colby King. He finds the own zone from 10 yards out, ties the ball game at 7-7. Punt situation for Moses Lake. Prazer gets through, blocks the punt, falls into the arms of the awaiting Josh Leonhardt, and he rumbles 36 yards, gets into the end zone. It's 14-7 Eastmont early in the second quarter. The Wildcats would force a punt, get the ball back, and then hand the ball off again to Gunnar Peterson. The tailback for the Wildcats would rumble 73 yards, get some great blocking over the left side, and then just run away from everybody on the big touchdown run. 21-7, Eastmont on top at this juncture of the ball game. But late in the second quarter, the Mavericks would get a drive together and would find the end zone as Brock Clark would hit Joel Middleton on this 13-yard touchdown pass. 21-14 at this point. The Wildcats get a great kickoff return, sets up a 25-yard touchdown pass from Luke Gale to Adrian Ruffins. They go to halftime 28-14 Eastmont on top. Wildcats would have an inadvertent whistle call back a touchdown run of 80 yards. That sets up this field goal from 28 yards by Edgar Leon, makes it 31-14 in the third quarter. Fourth quarter we go. A blocked field goal opportunity for the Wildcats to even extend that lead more would give the ball back to Moses Lake, and they would cash in as Brady J hits Maddox Gwynn on an 11-yard touchdown pass that makes it 31-21 Eastmont on top. Fourth quarter again. Here we go. It's Brady J, the freshman, hitting Kyson Thomas on a 38-yard touchdown pass. That makes it 31-28. Moses Lake not done yet. They get a double pass, get it down to the 2, and then it's Brock Clark who takes it in, gives Moses Lake the lead. Eastmont looks like they're going to be done. Moses Lake celebrating. They think time is out. No, Eastmont had called timeout before the play with 4 seconds left in the game. So here we go. Thanks to Wildcat football for this reverse angle. It's Luke Gale. He's connecting with Adrian Ruffins on the tip ball from 56 yards out, and with no time on the clock, the Eastmont Wildcats pull off the amazing, incredible Hail Mary pass. Watch it again. Luke Gale throws it down. It's tipped by the defender at the 5-yard line. That's where Adrian Ruffins is. Let's listen and watch from the end zone. Thanks to parent Gary Travato for the cell phone coverage from the end zone, and you can't blame him for being a little excited here. Eastmont wins 37-35 the final, and they will host Richland on Friday night in a crossover game to get to the state tournament. For NCW Live Channel Sports, I'm Eric Grandstrom.
Unbelievable. Yep, it is the Wildcats and the Bombers. Friday night, Wildcat Stadium, 7 o'clock in the rain, it looks like. We'll have it live beginning at 6:30. Eric and Grant on the call. The Panthers put up a good fight with West Valley on Friday, but the visitors came away with a 28-9 win. The Panthers would get on the board first. Eric and Brandon Harley have the call here on the NCW Live channel.
Alex Sanchez will come in to kick the field goal, spotted from the 23, make it a 33-yard field goal attempt. Wind is calm here tonight, and the boot right through the uprights is good. Mata. And back to pass, Castle. We're going to say that a lot tonight. He's got some pressure, rolls to his right, throws downfield. The ball is almost intercepted and then caught at the 6-yard line. Oh, my gosh. Are you kidding me? Here we go after the timeout. Rams will have it with 3 receivers wide to the left, and a pitch to the up back is Barajas. Cuts it back at the 3 and dances into the end zone. Touchdown. As the clock winds with 1:10, Castle fakes the handoff, throws in the flat. The ball is caught on the back of the side of the end zone, and that will be a touchdown. Ben Puplo. Castle gets the snap. Throws looking for the end zone. The receiver open, collects it. Touchdown, West Valley.
Not Coach Iman, no.
No, they'll go a little flea flicker. How about this? And he fumbled the football, and it is loose. And who's going to get it? Wenatchee may have covered it at the 6-yard line. They do! Back to pass again. Devereaux throwing over the middle, and it's intercepted in the end zone. And a man trying to return it, but he's tackled down there by Rivers Cook back there. Castle, 3-step drop. Now has pressure. Now running. Now tackled by Evan Verdun. Again with a sack for Wenatchee. Castle, handoff. Barajas up the middle, wide open into the end zone. Touchdown. My, oh my. Castle sends a man in motion. That's May. He's looking his way again, throwing downfield. The ball is intercepted at the 5-yard line. Wenatchee gets the football, picking off only for the 7th time this season. Woodcock, 5 yards deep. Back to pass. Looks left, has pressure, throws over the middle. The ball intercepted by Wenatchee, and it's Evan Verdun on the interception. Devereaux rolling to his right, wants to throw it, lofts it up, looking for Babs, has him at the 5, and he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Wenatchee! So a gain of 4 yards for Woodcock on his first carry of the ball game, and that, I think, will do it. Senior night, tough night for you guys, but man, I thought you guys played really well defensively against a really good team.
Yeah, defensively, I mean, we definitely made some mistakes early on with the offsides and all that. But we cleaned it up second half, even second quarter. Came in, got some good tackles, had some great defense with our DBs. It was a good night.
Okay, to the scoreboard from our friends at Les Schwab. Sunnyside tied Eastmont for the league title. They beat Davis 28 to win. So because of the Grizzlies, they beat the Wildcats. That means Sunnyside will be the number 1 seed, Eastmont the number 2 seed. By the way, Cheney edged Ike Friday 28-20. So the Big 9 crossover schedule, it begins Thursday. The Panthers will play at University at 6. Ike will travel to Walla Walla. Moses Lake will play at Gonzaga Prep Friday at 6 o'clock. West Valley will visit Chiawana. Eastmont will host Richland at 7 o'clock here on the NCW Live channel. And Ferris will play at Davis. Sunnyside will host a game on Saturday, who we don't know yet. We'll find out and tell you. In Caribou Trail League play on Friday, OMAC finished an 8-1 campaign with a 52-0 shutout of Clarence Fulton. They're out of British Columbia. Kashmir whipped up on Quincy 42-6, and Chelan edged Cascade 21-12. For the CTL, it's crossover time. Friday, you got Quincy visiting Moses Lake. Chelan travels to Newport. OMAC will host Riverside. Colville will be at Kashmir and Cascade. is at Deer Park. Okanagan showed it's the best and has been in the Central Washington B League on Friday. They beat Brewster 61-21. The Bulldogs will be the number 1 seed heading into the playoffs. Tenaska will host Davenport Thursday at 6. Manson plays Northwest Christian. That's in East Valley Friday at 6. And Brewster will visit Jenkins. They're out of Chewelah. Lake Roosevelt has a 7 o'clock kickoff at Liberty out of Spangle. Okanagan, meanwhile, will host Lind Ritzville Sprague Friday night at 7. And the Central Washington Athletic Conference wrapped up its regular season Friday with Othello, Ephrata, Prosser, and Clarkston all winning. Playoff soccer got underway over the weekend. Okanagan beat Liberty Bell and Tenaska downed Brewster. At Leiboftel Field of the Apple Bowl, Cashmere won the District 6 1A championship, 1-0 over Cascade. Quincy took third with a 2-1 win over Chelan. Eastmont wrapped up their regular season with a 4-0 win against Davis. Those two teams will meet again tomorrow in the Big 9 District play-in game at Wildcat Stadium. Sebastian Moraga and Matt Wiesen, the A team, will call the action. 6 o'clock live on Facebook. The game will be on TV at 7 o'clock. Some volleyball scores from over the weekend. Brewster swept Lake Roosevelt in a makeup match. That was on Friday. Chelan captured yet another District 6 1A crown at Wenatchee High School. They beat Cashmere in 3 straight. Omak topped Cascade in a loser-out game. Cashmere rebounded with a 3-1 win over Omak to end the Pioneers season. The Wenatchee Wild keep coming close, but not quite. In BCHL hockey, they've lost a lot of one-goal games, and it happened again over the weekend. They were swept at Prince George. They lost to the Spruce Kings Friday 4-3, and then Saturday 2-1. They'll go home for a single game this Friday at 7 o'clock against Merritt at the Town Toyota Center. The Seattle Kraken picked up a big win over the Penguins Saturday at Climate Pledge Arena. Seattle got goals from Jordan Eberle, Morgan Geeky, and Jaden Schwartz. 3-1 the final. Next up on the road against Calgary tomorrow at 6 on Root Sports Northwest. And the 118th edition of the World Series resumes tonight in Philadelphia. Of course, the Phillies and the Astros are tied at a game apiece. Philadelphia took game 1. Houston bounced back to win game 2. Tonight's game 5:03 on Fox. Don't come by my house for candy. It ain't going to happen. I'm watching the game. All right? And those are just some of the games that people are playing at 32 minutes after the hour. It's the obscure holiday, so we're not going to talk about Halloween. I could have done National Doorbell Day. I could have done National Knock Knock Jokes Day. Apparently, Tucker doesn't have the graphic up for National Caramel Apple Day. National Caramel Apple Day. Yeah, well, thank you, Tucker. Dan Walker gets the nod for this. Way back in the 1950s, after Halloween, Dan Walker, who worked at Kraft Foods, said, we got all of this caramel. Remember those little individually wrapped squares of caramel? We got all of this stuff sitting around. It's going to expire. We can't sell it next Halloween. So he said, why don't we take all this and melt it and dip it in an apple and see what happens? Just back in the 50s. Dan Walker gets the credit for inventing the apple dipped in caramel. Enjoy. They now have machines that do that, by the way. It's a Halloween staple. Today in history, happy 158th birthday to Nevada, the 36th state. And happy birthday to Nevada. That is not the state flag, all right? It is the silver state. Nevada is one of only 2 states that actually got bigger after they joined the Union. They gave them a chunk of Utah for whatever reason. Of course, what changed everything for the state was they took a look at California and they said everything that's illegal in California we'll make legal. We're their next door neighbor. By 1900, Nevada was not only the smallest state in the Union, it was actually getting smaller. Nobody wanted to live there. Who's kidding who? It's a desert out in the middle of nowhere. And by 1900, the silver mines and the gold mines have been tapped out. So what did they do? They made it easy for you to get married, made it easy for you to get a divorce. They legalized gambling. If certain counties want to legalize prostitution, they can do it. And a lot of counties do. That's pretty ingenious of Nevada. I mean, it's the only way they're going to get anybody to come there, right? Nevada has, this is amazing, they have 1 hotel room for every 14 residents. The national average is 1 hotel room for every 67 residents. A lot of states don't have laws that prohibit public intoxication, but Nevada is the only state that prohibits any other governmental entity to pass laws against public intoxication. That's pretty interesting. Between 1990 and 2000, that decade, the United States population grew by 13%. Nevada's population grew by 66%. And 3/4 of all the people who live in Nevada, 3/4 live in Las Vegas or the greater Las Vegas area. Only 25% of people who live in Nevada were actually born in Nevada. People move there. They don't be born there. Happy 158th birthday to the Silver State. It's amazing that this did not drag us into World War II because we weren't in it yet. Halloween Day, 1941, the USS Reuben James torpedoed by a German U-boat, Gesundheit Tucker, near Iceland. They were escorting supply ships. They were not flying the American flag, and they got blown up by a Nazi submarine. 100 U.S. Navy sailors went to their deaths. We weren't in the war yet. We could have said, okay, that's it. That's the tipping point. We're in now, but we didn't. It was the first U.S. Navy vessel sunk by enemy action during World War II, and we weren't even technically in World War II. Happened on this date 81 years ago today. And the saga of Egypt Air Flight 990. October 31st, 1999. It crashes into the Atlantic Ocean near Nantucket. All 217 on board were killed because it had happened in international waters. The investigation was handled by both the United States and Egypt because it was an Egypt Air flight bound for Cairo. And the Egyptians said something went wrong with the plane, the elevators, the ailerons, something, and the plane crashed because of mechanical failure. The Americans said that guy purposely flew it into the ocean. Gamil al-Batori, who it was an overseas flight. They had two complete crews. He was supposed to be the crew that was just lead the crew that just flew it. So they had one crew that took off and one crew that landed, and then there was a second crew that just flew it. Well, about 20 minutes into the flight, he got up and went into the cockpit and said, "I'll take over now." Captain said, "You're not supposed to take over for another couple of hours." He goes, "I'll do it now." And the captain said, "Well, okay." The captain got up and left, and then the first officer got up to use the bathroom. He was by himself in the cockpit. Birthdays at 37 minutes after the hour. Michael Collins died last year at the age of 90. He was in Apollo 11. He was the guy who flew the Columbia, the module. He was the one who flew it as it went around the moon, while Neil and Buzz went on the moon. So he didn't actually get to go on the moon, and he never actually set foot on the moon. In fact, shortly after Apollo 11 came back, he left NASA. Michael Collins, born in the state in 1930, died last year at the age of 90. Happy birthday. Yes, Pa Ingalls. Yeah. Michael Landon, born Eugene Orowitz. When you're born Eugene Orowitz and you become a movie star or television star, you change your name to Michael Landon. He picked the name out of the phone book. Born in the state in 1936, died of cancer in 1991 at the age of 54. Bonanza, Little House on the Prairie, Highway to Heaven, of course. Michael Landon is second all time for appearances on the cover of TV Guide. Lucille Ball is number one. Michael Landon appeared on the cover of TV Guide 22 times, second only to Lucille Ball. David Ogden Stiers, who played Major Charles Emerson Winchester in MASH, and then, of course, lots of voiceover work for Disney movie and Pixar movies. And he was a really good actor. Yeah, I really enjoyed the character of Major Winchester. David Ogden Stiers, born in the state in 1942, died a couple of years ago at the age of 75. John Candy. We love John Candy. We miss John Candy. I remember seeing him for the first time in Splash. He was hilarious. Stripes, National Lampoon's Vacation. Remember, he was the security guard at the gate. Summer Rental, Uncle Buck, Spaceballs, John Candy. We miss him. He would have been 72 years old today. Nick Saban, the most successful college football coach ever. I mean, he's got 7 national championships, 6 of them with Alabama, and he was never even in coach college football. When he went to Kent State University, he played on the team coached by Don James. He graduated. He and his wife got married, but she was a junior. He was a senior, so their agreement was he would stay in Kent, Ohio for a year, sell used cars for a living while his wife got her degree. Don James called up Nick Saban and said, "What are you going to do?" And he goes, "I'm going to sell cars." till my wife graduates. She says, why don't you come coach with me? He goes, I don't want to. He goes, I'll pay you $6,000, make you a graduate assistant. Nick Saban, I said, what the hell? Nick Saban was not going to coach college football until Don James talked him into it. He's 71 years old today. Joe West. You're going to go, who's Joe West? He's 70 years old today. Joe West was a Major League Baseball umpire for 43 seasons, which is the all-time record, and he umpired 5,460 games, which is the all-time record by far. Joe West is 70, and Peter Jackson, the Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, Get Back, King Kong, and all the others. Peter Jackson is 61 years old today. Going to take a break. Mike McNally's got an opinion, and then we're going to revisit my conversation with Dr. Becky Berg, the superintendent of the Eastmont School District. If you haven't voted yet, you Eastsiders, on that $185 million school bond, she's going to give you some information you're going to need to know. It's coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
It's the NCW Life Community Calendar, a presentation of Merry Maids. The 2022 general election is on Tuesday, November 8th. All ballots that are mailed must be postmarked by 8 p.m. on that day to qualify, or you can use the drop boxes. In Chelan County, boxes are located in Wenatchee, Cashmere, Chelan, Aniat, Leavenworth, and Manson. In Douglas County, drop boxes are located in East Wenatchee, Waterville, Cooley Dam, Rock Island, Bridgeport, and Mansfield.
Hello, television family. Grab your cup of coffee each weekday morning and join me. I'm Dan Kuntz, the host of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's everything you need to start your day. We're live and we're local at 7 a.m. every weekday on the NCW Life Channel.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Welcome to Bubbly by Cake Chick, where friends come to relax and reconnect. Enjoy delicious lunches, decadent desserts, classic champagne, and bourbon tastings. Make every day an occasion when you join friends at Bubbly by Cake Chick on Riverside Drive in Wenatchee.
And everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, I did an opinion piece here that was played on Wake Up Wenatchee, Dan Kuntz's show, that criticized ads for investment opportunities. And I mentioned that what I felt was the nonsense of running such an ad on the local radio station, KPQ. Now, Rosie, my wife, heard this and she said, oh, you're going to get in trouble. And I said, with who? KPQ? I said, what's KPQ going to do? They're going to send Dave Bernstein to come beat me up? Hey, Rosie laughed and I laughed, and that was the end of it. Well, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion. I mean, I think that's the end of it. You don't think they'll really do that, do you?
Election season is heating up, and the NCW Life Channel is putting local candidates in the hot seat. Join us starting at 8 a.m. Sunday as we interview the contenders for Chelan County Sheriff and the Chelan County Board of Commissioners. Tune in for these in-depth conversations so you can vote with confidence. That's 8 a.m. Sunday and again throughout the week on the NCW Life Channel.
D&L Army Surplus in Wenatchee is stocked with items for the whole family. From ammo to collectibles and so much more, D&L Army Surplus, your one-stop shop for military surplus, survival, camping, and tactical gear. Bring the whole family and stop on by today.
Connect with us on Networked as we introduce you to the people and organizations who are leading innovation in the region. Get inspired, engaged, and networked right here on the NCW Life channel.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether.
We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Welcome back to the program. I am Dan Kuntz. She was recently appointed to the Eastmont School Board by the Eastmont School Board as the new superintendent, taking over from Dr. Garn Christensen, who retired after many years of great service. Dr. Becky Berg is the new superintendent, and boy, you stepped right into the fire, my friend, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Before we get into what we're here to talk about, which is the $185 million bond that the school board hopes that the voters in the Eastmont School District pass on November 8th. How's the new job working out? You took over July 1st, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes, and I'm absolutely loving it. I'm loving being back home in Eastern Washington. I've forgotten how beautiful it is in North Central Washington, and we feel right at home with the people, you know?
The fact that your kids were grown and moved away, and you and your husband, probably this wasn't too hard of a decision to make, right?
Not at all. Not at all.
And is he liking it here?
He loves it, and we're just thrilled that we got the job and are able to move here.
You were talking earlier about your team, your administrative team.
Mm-hmm.
I know your counterpart on the west side of the river, Bill Eagle, is a big fan of his administrative team. You have the same champagne problem, don't you?
Our administrative team is bar none, and we work closely with Wenatchee, so I will not say ours is better than Bill Eagle's team, but I might have my opinions. So we have amazing leadership in Eastmont.
Before we go any further, Becky has restraints. There's a certain box that Becky, as a superintendent, can't stray out of. In other words, Becky's going to give us some information on you voters in the Eastmont School District about what to expect if this $185 million bond passes. But she can't say vote yes or vote no. She can't do that. That crosses the line. I don't have that problem, by the way, and we'll get to that in just a little bit. We're here at Lee Elementary School to begin our tour, and there's a reason we started at Lee. This is at or near the top of the list. This school needs some serious help.
Absolutely. And first of all, we're very thankful for the voters in Eastmont who've done their level best to keep our schools progressive and efficient. But we're now at the point where some of our schools, Lee was built in 1957, so we're dealing with a core of the school whose HVAC, whose pieces and parts we can't find anymore. So it's time. It's also time to look at security through a different lens, sadly. But when this was built in 1957, you could have outdoor hallways. You could have exterior doors, which I think there's over 30 here. We look at schools a little differently now.
And the first thing that catches your eye of any school, regardless if it's elementary, middle school, junior high, or high school, portables. Portables means you ain't got enough room in the original footprint.
100%. And we call them permanentables because they rarely are removed. And you can imagine we've got some without restrooms in them. Many teachers have taught many years and students have learned many years in them, but they really are beyond their life. They have given their all to us, and our maintenance department has tried to keep them up, but it's time that they're removed. And with this bond, if it should pass, we'll be able to remove all of our portables in the Eastmont School District.
Was it fairly easy to prioritize when it came time, okay, here's the bond, here's how much we're going to ask, what are we going to do with the money? Was putting Lee at or near the top of the list a pretty no-brainer?
Yes, there's a certain process you go through with the state called study and survey. The architect ranks all of the schools, and the 4 schools highlighted for the first work are level fair to good, and some aspects of them even poor in the state rankings. And so this process took place in 2014-15 with a community group that decided there'd be a phase 1 and a phase 2. And phase 1 was 2016 with a capital levy, where we added 20 classrooms and 4 cafeterias, and it's beautiful. And this is phase 2 and our last phase for a while.
And it should be pointed out where we're located. Of course, Lee Elementary, if you know the Wenatchee Valley at all, it's at the intersection of Baker and 15th Street. A lot of traffic, very difficult for the parents to come in and out and get their kids. It's a very small footprint for this area. That's a significant safety concern, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I'm probably older than you, but when I was in elementary school, we either walked or our parents picked us up for a doctor's appointment. And then when we got a little older, we took the bus. Nowadays, we still have a robust busing system that we'll talk about later, but so many parents drive their kids, and our parking lots weren't designed for that. So in the new design, parent parking and pickup will be separated from bus parking and pickup and should help with the congestion in the neighborhoods as well as just safety on campus.
You've said the word safety a lot, and it is what it is. This is the year 2022, but it's not in the back of people's minds anymore. It's in the front of people's minds. And when you talk about all of the outside doors that go directly into classrooms, all of these schools now need a central, this is the way into the school, and the only way into the school with security and stuff like that. That is now, it is simply the reality of the times that we live in.
It really is our responsibility, a sad responsibility, but one that we take very seriously. And a single point of entry will help dramatically, whether it's a parent who shouldn't be on campus due to custody issues, all the way to a violent intruder, or a person with some mental health issues that just wanders into the school. We need to do everything we can to protect against that, so that we have line of sight supervision of, is that one of ours at the front door or someone we don't know, and we go from there.
And I actually did my homework on this. It has been proven that kids do better with newer, modern facilities. They like going to new, modern schools. They do better.
It really is interesting when kids travel for athletics, or when they travel for math at school, or they just go to a neighbor's school and they see a school that's much more up to date than theirs. We don't have to keep up with the Joneses, but we're sending a message to our children of how important they are in the community.
And it should be pointed out, if you live in the East Wenatchee School District and you're a lifer and you got a kid who's in 2nd grade here at Lee, and they're eventually going to go to middle school, junior high, eveventually to Eastmont High School. This is your baby. This is you got to take pride in your schools, and that's the message I want to put forward, especially for the younger parents who are here and they're going to stay here.
Absolutely. Generations before us have built this school and have paid it forward, and so that's the stage we're explaining now.
One last, it's recess. Speaking of recess, playgrounds. Where are we with playgrounds here at Lee? Do they need a little work?
Playgrounds everywhere need a little work. We're not asking for playgrounds everywhere with this bond, but we have numerous kids with physical issues, and we only have one inclusive playground, where we're thrilled about that at Clovis. But if you view the world through a wheelchair, the uneven topography, the bark where the playground is. Now they've got pour-in-place rubber. They've got ramps that are different. They've got wheelchair swings. And really, when any child sees a playground, they should want to run out or wheel out and enjoy it.
So we're here at Lee Elementary School, which again was built in 1957. That has nothing on Rock Island Elementary School, which was built in the 30s. And although it's been remodeled and modernized a couple of times, they even brought in a kitchen. Believe it or not, they used to have to cook the food somewhere else and ship it out there to Rock Island. Rock Island has very much the same issues that Lee has.
Very much. A little bit smaller scale, but the core of it was built in 1936 between World War I and World War II.
By the way, we won both of those.
Yeah, but it definitely needs some, the interior systems need some help. Now, it received 4 classrooms and a cafeteria in the 16
in the 2016
capital
bond,
2016 levy, not 1916. But the kids were eating in the basement before that. So now you go out and parts of the school are wonderful and parts of the school are still 1936. When you come to the front door, you can go completely, if it wasn't locked, you could go completely in, go down numerous hallways before anyone might intercept you. So there's some interior redesign, exterior redesign, and then the efficiency and effectiveness of the systems.
And by the way, we're going to be doing 2 parts of this with Dr. Berg. We're going to be heading to Cascade Elementary School in just a little bit. Let's talk about Sterling Junior High School. Again, getting a little old, and the same problem
that Lee has way too many portables.
Way too many portables. We lovingly call them Portable Village, but it's probably time to have the village join the main school. Really, we have, with our redistricting, Sterling Junior High is now a full junior high. So we're doing some real efficiency comparisons between that and Eastmont Junior High. So we need to add some CTE spaces. We used to call them vocational education, but do both of them need a full wood shop? Does both of them need a metal shop? Do they need steam maker spaces? We're really trying to make them complementary schools. Right now, we are sharing kids between the schools occasionally under adult guidance, but we're trying to be as efficient with the tax dollars we can and not duplicate efforts. And then we really want to get rid of those portables. They've served us well.
They have, but they're done. And again, portables is always an indication that you got too many kids here. And also at Sterling, it should be pointed out, the original physical education wing hasn't changed at all.
No.
It's very much outdated. The locker rooms, the gymnasium, it needs some help.
Absolutely.
And we all know the importance of physical education.
You bet.
And again, Dr. Berg can't say vote yes or vote no. She's just asking you to inform yourself. I can say vote yes. I just did. And we're going to do this in two parts with Dr. Berg. We're going to head over to Cascade Elementary School on the north side of town, which also is old and needs some updating. We're also going to talk about Kenroy Elementary. Yeah, pretty much the same deal. And also the new transportation center. The school district showed a great deal of forethought. About 5, 6, 7 years ago, they bought the land for the transportation center, but it's just sitting there.
Yes.
And the current transportation center it needs help.
It needs help, yes.
We're going to talk about that, too. And by the way, we're also going to do a separate segment with Russ Waterman, the athletic director for the Eastmont School District, to talk specifically about the upgrades to the athletic facilities, not only at Eastmont High School, but some other places as well. So if it's okay with you, Dr. Berg, let's pack up our gear and head to Cascade.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
All right.
We'll be right back.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today. 509-663-1710.
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, deep breaths and watch your speed. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So it's right here.
Don't stress, just save up to $200 on select tires with financing at our Les Schwab Fall Tire Sale. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
Hi, I'm Jim Heinlein, independent agent and owner at Springwater Insurance Group here in North Central Washington. And it's that time of year again. October 15th to December 7th, that is the time if you have a Medicare plan, do I want to keep it or do I want to change it? For any of those questions, give us a call at Springwater Insurance Group because we're independent agents. We don't work with one company, we work with many companies because all of you have different situations and needs. So if you have questions about 2021 Medicare plans, give us a call, 888-2600.
Josh is a small business owner in Chelan County. This Josh just switched to long-lasting LED bulbs. That Josh still uses conventional light bulbs. This Josh spends more time with his customers and growing his business, knowing his LEDs will last for years. That Josh is replacing his conventional light bulbs again and again. Install new lighting in your local business. Chelan County PUD can pay up to 100% of the cost of your new lights that save energy.
Time to wrap up this Halloween edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, your Halloween trick-or-treating forecast. Look in the lower right-hand corner. That's for Wenatchee. It's going to be mild, and we should be dry. We're having some light rain right now. That rain should be done by 11 o'clock or noon. So it's going to be cloudy. It's going to be mild, but no rain and no wind for you ghosts and goblins as you head out late this afternoon into the early evening hours for some trick or treating. But man, is it going to get chilly. A rather significant batch of cold air going to come our way. It's going to get down here about Tuesday night. Tuesday night, we're going to be below freezing. Wednesday night into Thursday, going to be very chilly. So it's going to be cold early morning Wednesday, but really cold early morning Thursday. One more quick look at the forecast. Again, we'll be done with the rain by about noon. The clouds will be hanging around 56 for the afternoon high, 50 with clouds and a little bit of light rain possible. We should be dry Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Overnight lows getting below freezing, and then we warm back up and get more rain by the weekend. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.